The ants are preparing for a brutal war. Having developed top-secret chemical weapons, they are poised for a merciless massacre. Yet, the battle for survival is endless, and in the end, death claims them all. Meanwhile, an unsuspecting couple sets out for a peaceful picnic in a secluded natural spot. As they relish the fresh air and fruit, the woman suddenly feels labor pains. Panicked, her husband quickly gathers their belongings and rushes her to the car, leaving behind their picnic blanket and food in the commotion. Elsewhere, life in the forest continues undisturbed. Underneath a leaf, 3 tiny ladybugs hatch and tumble to the ground. Their parents immediately fly down, guiding them in their first attempts to spread their wings. The young ladybugs struggle at first, one even lands upside down on a rock, but soon, with practice, they learn to fly. Together, the family soars over the grasses and the river. Curiosity soon leads one of the little ladybugs astray. Hearing uncontrollable laughter from the bushes, she drifts away from her family, following a cheerful fly deeper into the forest. The fly lands on a stump, and the ladybug approaches, eager to introduce herself. But before she can, 4 large flies appear, surrounding her with menacing buzzes. Terrified, she tries to escape, but the relentless flies pursue her. In her panic, she miscalculates her flight, crashes against a rock, and tumbles into a crevice, losing a wing in the process. The flies hover for a moment before eventually flying away. As evening falls and rain begins to pour, the wounded ladybug struggles to find shelter. She calls for help, but no one comes. Seeking refuge, she stumbles upon a discarded sugar box left by humans and spends the night inside. At dawn, she wakes to the sounds of buzzing and scurrying. Peeking out, she sees a swarm of insects, caterpillars, beetles, and bugs raiding human food, carrying off chips, cookies, and even a box of matches. Nearby, a group of black ants marches past. Their leader, catching the scent of sugar, rushes towards the box. Unnoticed, the ladybug hides inside as the ant takes a taste, instantly overcome with delight. He signals the rest of his colony to abandon their current tasks and hurry to the sugar box. The ants swiftly gather beneath the box, lifting it and carrying it back to their anthill. Unintentionally, the ladybug embarks on an unexpected journey. But as they navigate rough terrain, the box tips over, burying her under falling sugar cubes. Struggling to stay balanced, she is eventually thrown out when the ants drop the box from a rock. Weakened, she barely moves. The ants, after collecting the scattered sugar, notice her and attempt to help. Just then, a lurking lizard spots them. Climbing onto a rock, it lets out a fierce cry, sending the ants scrambling behind sugar pieces in fear. The predator locks onto the ant leader, ready to strike. But the ladybug, regaining her strength, dashes inside the box and makes a loud, eerie noise, startling the lizard. Spooked, the reptile flees into the shadows. With the danger averted, the ants gather around, expressing their gratitude. The ladybug explains her inability to fly, and the ants invite her to join them at their anthill. Now, the journey resumes, but this time, she rides atop the sugar box beside the ant leader, who now owes her his life. As they approach a high rock, the leader signals the colony, preparing them for the arrival of their valuable cargo. But before they can reach safety, a gang of aggressive red ants emerges. With the demeanor of hardened criminals, they block the path, their eyes fixed greedily on the sugar box. The leader of the black ants signals his colony to stop. He takes a single sugar cube from the box and offers it to the red ants as a gesture of peace. Then, without warning, he dashes away, commanding his team to haul the box to safety. Furious at being shortchanged, the red ants erupt in rage and give chase. As the black ants approach a steep slope, they act quickly, climbing atop the box, rocking it forcefully, and sending it hurtling down. Not to be outdone, the red ants spot a discarded soda can, scramble inside, and push it down the slope, determined to catch up. The chase intensifies as both the sugar box and the soda can tumble into a mountain river, carried swiftly downstream. Despite the turbulent rapids, the red ants remain relentless. Amid the chaos, a strong jolt sends the ladybug tumbling out of the box and into the rushing water. A sharp-eyed pike lurking nearby spots her and immediately begins its pursuit. The current sweeps the ladybug downstream as the pike, undeterred by jagged rocks, closes in. Seeing their new friend in danger, the black ants spring into action. Linking their bodies together, they form a chain and plunge into the water, managing to pull the ladybug to safety. But their relief is short-lived. A massive waterfall looms ahead. With no time to escape, the insects scramble back inside the box and plummet over the edge. The pike and the red ant soda can follow them over the waterfall. The fish and the kin crash hard at the bottom, getting stuck, but the red ants manage to surface and continue their pursuit. Meanwhile, the black ants and the ladybug salvage the remaining sugar cubes and press on toward their anthill. As they march, the ladybug hears a familiar buzzing sound. Nearby, a group of ladybugs flutters gracefully. She eagerly tries to join them, but with only one wing, she struggles to stay airborne. Disheartened, she follows the black ants once more. The next day, as the black ants cross a busy road, the red ants finally catch up. The black ants, unwilling to slow down, take a daring risk racing across despite an oncoming car. The red ant leader lunges forward in pursuit, but his terrified followers hesitate, scattering in fear. The black ants narrowly survive the dangerous crossing and finally reach their anthill, where the ladybug follows them inside. Inside the bustling colony, worker ants tirelessly bring food to their queen. If she approves the offering, she rewards them with freshly laid eggs. The moment she tastes the sugar, she is overwhelmed with delight and immediately lays a large batch of eggs. Meanwhile, the red ant leader discovers the location of the black ants' colony. Enraged, he rushes to inform his queen. Outraged by the black ants' escape, she commands an immediate assault. A vast army of red ants mobilizes, armed with chestnuts, stones, slingshots, and even bug spray. As night falls, the black ant colony remains unaware of the impending attack. Everyone, including the ladybug, sleeps peacefully. In her dreams, she envisions a family of ladybugs soaring happily over a meadow. She awakens with a pang of longing and climbs to the top of the anthill, where she makes an astonishing discovery: her second wing has begun to grow back. Hope fills her heart. Soon, she will be able to fly again. At dawn, the black ants are jolted awake by a growing, ominous buzz. The red ant army has arrived, already loading their slingshots. Without warning, a merciless bombardment begins. The black ants fight back with whatever they can find, dropping cotton swabs, tablets, and grains of salt, but the red ants' artillery causes far more destruction. In desperation, the black ant queen dispatches her leader and the ladybug to the colony's scientist. Upon hearing of the dire situation, the scientist rummages through his stash and hands them a secret weapon: a box of matches and firecrackers. The black ants hurriedly place the firecrackers on the roof of the anthill, but their enemies are already advancing, preparing to storm the entrance. The black ant leader opens the box of matches, only to find a single match inside. He carefully studies the instructions, lights the match, and squints from the tension, his antennae twisting with anxiety. With precision, he ignites a firecracker. It twirls and falls onto the battlefield, exploding and taking down many red ants. But before they can light another, the match burns out, and the red ants attack with renewed fury. At that moment, the ladybug remembers a box of matches she once saw, left behind by humans. She quickly informs the black ants and promises to retrieve it, but she needs help taking off. Her friends craft a paper airplane, launching her into the air. However, before long, she starts flying on her own, her second wing now nearly fully grown. Reaching the spot swiftly, she finds the box of matches. Just as she attempts to lift it, a spider appears, effortlessly picking up the box and carrying it to his lair. Determined, the ladybug follows him. By evening, the spider reaches his home, an abandoned tube inside a toy castle. The ladybug sneaks in, realizing the spider uses matches to secure his web. Before she can act, a lurking toad suddenly grabs her from behind the window. Clutching the windowsill with all her strength, the ladybug struggles as the toad pulls at her. In the commotion, the entire toy castle collapses, crushing the toad beneath it. Knocked unconscious, the ladybug once again dreams of flying freely with her family over a peaceful meadow. When she wakes up, she finds herself inside the spider's cottage. Grateful for her unintentional help in ridding him of the toad, the spider offers her food and, with understanding, hands over the box of matches. Wasting no time, she grabs it and takes off toward the battlefield. On her way back, she hears cruel laughter and notices a group of flies taunting another ladybug. Without hesitation, she drops the matches and rushes to intervene. To distract the bullies, she lures them toward the highway. A car approaches. At the last second, she swoops down, narrowly avoiding the vehicle, while the flies slam directly into the headlight, falling to the ground, dazed. The ladybug returns to comfort the injured ladybug, exchanging kind words before promising to return soon. Grabbing the box of matches once more, she speeds toward the devastated anthill. With a triumphant cry, she soars over the battlefield, delivering the matches to the top of the anthill. The black ants erupt in cheers. Without delay, they arm themselves, lighting all the remaining firecrackers. Explosions rain down upon the red ants, triggering a catastrophic chain reaction. The flames ignite a nearby tank of insecticide. As the poisonous fumes spread, the red ants panic, squealing as they flee the battlefield in defeat. Victory belongs to the black ants, but their celebration is short-lived. A real fire breaks out around the anthill. With no choice, the black ants and the ladybug retreat to the main hall for safety. Suddenly, a strange noise fills the air. A plane flies overhead, releasing foam to extinguish the flames. The fire is put out, but the foam erodes the anthill, reducing it to ruins. In the aftermath, the surviving black ants and the ladybug emerge from the wreckage, standing in silent contemplation. Time passes. The ladybug has grown, now living with the friend she once rescued from the flies. Together, they have 5 children who have already learned to fly. As a family, they soar joyfully over the meadow, basking in the serenity of their world. Meanwhile, the hard-working black ants rebuild their colony, stronger than before. Though their lives have taken different paths, the ladybug has never forgotten her ant friends. One day, she reunites with them in a picturesque meadow. As the sun sets, they sit together, quietly appreciating the peace they fought so hard to protect.